Okay, engines fired up, we're set. Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now. Right, so our fastest lap currently 1:28.5. All clear the garage, please. Cars ready to leave. Seconds left in the session. Right, you're dropping down the table. You're currently in P11. P11. seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want you to bog down. Rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. For a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. tyre condition still looking good. At least 20 minutes of light rain. Behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap. Well done. behind is lapping faster than us by around a second a lap. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Okay, our best lap so far, 1 minute 28.3. If you start to suffer from oversteer, come in and let us have a look at the setup. You'll get oversteer if the rear tyres lose grip before the front. Usually this will be coming from a lack of rear downforce or an overly stiff rear suspension, but a little tweak with negative camber or toe in can also help with this. We're 16th in the speed trap, 183.3 miles per hour. Okay, engines fired up, we're set. Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. clear the garage, please. Car's ready to leave. Okay, so our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of this lap. Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. That's a new fastest lap of the race. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap. The weather's certainly eased off for the time being, but we've still got a lot of standing water out there. We're happy for you to stay out on the inters for now. On this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there. You're doing well. so we're leading our teammate by 35.9 seconds. Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake, use overtake. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly. work. You're catching the car ahead by around 5/10 a lap. Behind's gaining on you by 5/10 a lap. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. And we're still happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment. Situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now. Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap, box this lap. Okay, clear. battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more. Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach. Go, go, go! Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are so far no plans for a safety car. Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta. Approaching the safety car, you're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now. getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors, so I don't think you need to be worried, just some bad data, so keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems. Okay, the safety car's coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in Sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car's into the pit lane. Tyre condition still looking good. Green flag. Fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 10.4 seconds. track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. Virtual safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety car is deployed. Okay, VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. Okay, clear. teammate by 12.1 seconds. Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon. Okay, clear. Final lap, let's go, final lap.
Pink, Jack, GRL, and Josh all retiring. I think they were all retirements in the pits. Might have been, one of them might have been on track. Sorry, I think GRL. No, GRL's was in the pits. But yeah, five retirements. Apologies, lads. I'm just gonna run and grab a drink, and then I'll come back and do an interview. All right, lads. We've got the three of us here. Right, JJ, you calm yourself for a second.
All right, mate.
I'm gonna start with Flicks. How you feeling after that, mate? Yeah, been a long time, I think, since I've spoke to you, but you look like you had an eventful race, a lot of overtaking. Some moves definitely looked a bit hard, a bit forceful, but how you feeling? Yeah, you made a lot of positions up. I was trying to fire you an invite as quick as I could. You ended up losing 3 positions on the last lap. Great job, mate. Great job. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like seeing you were cutting through the field in the sprint. In the feature, I didn't notice where you were until like quite late on. I didn't even realise you'd managed to get back up there. But yeah, great job, mate. Great job. How'd you find it transitioning from the inters to the dries? Yeah. Well, I made that comment during comms that people pitted 2 laps before DRS was even enabled, so I wondered if it was too soon. Oh, wow. Oh, fair play, but you made it work. You got that P3 spot, mate, so well done. And yeah, we'll make JJ wait a bit more. Bobo.
Good evening, man. Good evening.
Hey, come on. This is better than that second rate league you was in the other night.
Yeah, it's better, man. Yeah, it was hard, like without the practice. Did a really poor qualifying, and then the race, yeah, first lap got damage, and then yeah, you're like 30 seconds behind. But all good, man. All good.
But tonight you've made up for it. You've had a fight in both the sprint and the feature.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pink Eye quitting from the feature race, though. You've extended your championship lead.
Yeah, really happy with it, man. He was really fast in the sprint race. and in the feature race as well. But then suddenly JJ, what he did a yeah, really good job today. But still, like he gained time on Pink Eye, and I was surprised because he was like 2 or 3 seconds in front of JJ. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, well done to JJ, man. He was I think with Pink the best today. And also congrats to Flix, my mate from Singapore. But congrats, man. Congrats, brother. Congrats. All good. All good.
See, from the comms perspective, it looked like Pink was set up for the wet.
Yeah,
The way he pulled away in the sprint, you know, no one ever got near him, and then the start of the feature he did the same. But then as it dried out, he came back to everyone, and it looked like he was set up for the wet. I might be wrong, but from my point of view, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it could be, but I also had like a intermediate setup, so I did a little bit like higher wings than I was like intending to. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I didn't have the pace to catch JJ in the end because he had a few seconds in front, and yeah, I was happy. It's good for Bruges, but I was happy.
I was going to ask you, did the thought come in your head that you're just happy to settle for P2? You know it after seeing Pink retire. You know he's not scoring. You're extending your lead. Just don't risk anything.
It was on my mind, and Bruce, he was quicker, like in the later laps, so I let him by. I hoped like to catch him later in the race and maybe to catch up on JJ, but that it was really hard. But I was trying to close behind him, but I didn't have the pace to overtake Bruce. Maybe in the later laps, but then he spinned and I was like, okay, P2. I tried everything to close up a little bit to JJ, but no, he deserved the win, man. He deserved the win.
And here we go, man of the hour.
Don't let him talk though.
Come on, JJ.
Yeah. Oh, mate, get the fuck in there, boy!
Oh, mate, honestly, I'm going to be honest. You're one I always watch out for in quali because I know your routine.
Yeah.
You do a lap on the mediums, you do a cool down lap, you go again, and your second lap is so much faster. I'm always keeping an eye on your quali, but you always get shit on in the race, and it is nice. It's nice to see one go your way.
Yeah, man. The sprint was a bit difficult because it was where Pinker got away. It was kind of a battle between the three of us, as I felt Rick was going a lot slower than I could go, and I couldn't brake where I wanted to brake. I couldn't just do anything I wanted to do. And then Bobo got me, but as the race went on, got to about lap 7, lap 8, I felt like I just had loads of pace. And I caught back up to them, so I thought, all right, I know the feature's gonna be wet at the start again, similar conditions, if not a tiny bit worse. And then I got a decent quali lap in the softs, and then I just thought, right, just stay within Pink because I know he's gonna run higher downforce than me because I knew that's what he does. So I think it was 36 on the rear, and I knew in sector 3 I could gain, and the furthest he got was 2.2 seconds away from me. But every time I clawed him back in that third sector, then I see he was struggling in front. Every time he was turning the car was sliding.
Right.
And then as soon as I noticed that, and then he went off, I thought, right, I have to get past now. He done it in the space of like 3 or 4 corners.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know he'd gone off track. I was trying to stay on board with battles and stuff, so I completely missed that.
Yeah, so in the S's, he misjudged it. It didn't go off track massively, but it cost him at least a second. And by that point, I was only 1.3, 1.4, because he was trading fastest laps for a little while.
Yeah, I've seen it bouncing around 1.3, 1.4.
And I was more worried about Bobo behind me because I know what he can be like. He's a fucking monster. So I was thinking, right, I could see Pink struggling, and then I got past him. But as I got past him, I put my overtake on. I nearly lost it myself. The track from all of a sudden went to all right to then being completely
Bone dry.
Yeah, but it was horrible because my Flick's saying he had 80%. I was driving a bit differently tonight, and I still had about 40, 45, 50% left on my front and my rears. So I thought, right, when am I going to box to the dryers? It's got to be right, because if it's going to be wrong, I've lost. And then I just thought, I'm going in, and I put the mediums on, and once I see Pink behind, put the hards on, I was laughing. I was thinking, right, that's it now. Because I know there's only 13, 14 laps left, and the safety card really helped me. Sorry, the VSC. Yeah. Was it the VSC? Or that was a full safety car, wasn't it? And then the VSC after.
It was a full safety car first, just after you'd pitted.
And then because you never know with Pink, you could put fucking rocks on his wheels sometimes, and he could still beat you. But after the first 2 laps, I pulled. I think it was 1.8, 1.9 out. I was thinking, right, just drive like I did on
comfortably.
Tuesday. Yeah, just drive on Tuesday. So what I started doing is just turning my ERS off in sector 1, because I knew I had an advantage, and I could see Bruges was always catching me in that sector. And then when I put it back on, because he's catching me a little bit, I'm struggling. I'm thinking he's got to be hanging on for dear life, because I'm hanging on for dear life here. And my pace, I was still lapping within half a second of my fastest lap. So then when he was within 1.1, he must have clipped that curb, got power down. And as I look back, I just see wheels going all over the place, or boards or whatever it was. And as soon as I see that happen, I was like, right.
Yeah, he sort of hit the wall.
Yeah.
It's like he hit the wall, corrected it, hit the wall again, and just completely lost his front wing.
Yeah, and then, but just to do it on. The race I drove, it was perfect.
That's it. You didn't win that race for a Pink mistake.
No.
You won that race fair and square. You won that race on pace.
Yeah, it's the first time I think I've done that. I won last year at Spa when it was wet, but that was more a strategy. Tonight though, I just felt fast. I felt you felt fast, so mate. Quick.
You look fast.
And when it got to dry, I just hoped that teammate that I love so much now, I do love him tonight. I hated him the other week when he beat me, but I love him tonight. I was hoping he weren't going to catch me. But then once you get 2 seconds in front, and you just stick to what you're doing. I was struggling at that hairpin. I nearly locked up God knows how many times.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I struggled Tuesday in the F2 at that hairpin massively.
Yeah,
I just couldn't get it right.
Yeah, you got to use the engine.
different every lap.
Yeah, but I used a dry setup tonight. I just changed my engine braking. I dropped it from 100 to 80, and that was all I'd done.
Right, well that sort of fits into what I was thinking. That as it got drier, you got faster, so that makes sense.
But it was nice. It was nice to stay with him, because normally when he gets 2-3 seconds in front, it's game over. But it was nice that I could pull it back all the time. You get 2 seconds, then I bring it down to 1.5, then 1.1, then you go back to 2 seconds, and back the same. And then when I see you were struggling, I was like, right. Oh, it's buzzing though, man, over the moon. Fucking over the moon. I can tell
you're happy with that one.
I'm well happy with that one, because that's such a hard track. Like,
no, it is. It definitely is.
When I loaded up today to practice, I could not get through sector 1. I couldn't do it, and then I just kept on changing stuff. Then I managed to do it. I done a practice session with my teammates. Forgot his name, Spray, whatever he's called, and he mullered me the other on the start of the week or start of last week. So it was nice.
Don't get bullets on, man. Don't get bullet.
Haha.
Get bullet, man.
I didn't get bullied tonight, son. So
oh shit. No, nice.
It's just nice because I'm always at the front now every week in qualifying. I'm always in the top 5. I'm always in the front group, and it's nice to be able to bring it home purely on ability and choice and strategy. It was nice.
That's it. Like I say, you're qualifying pit. Obviously, I've watched. You've been here now for years, for seasons. I've watched it. I've done comms for that long. I've been here that long that I know how it goes. And your pace, especially your one lap pace, is always up there. But then the race never works out. So seeing you get this result off pace throughout a full race as well. It's not as though a strategy's won you this, mate. It was pace. So it's massively deserved.
Thank you very much. Well done to Bobo, and well done Flicks as well. That's amazing, mate. You've got a habit of coming through the field, mate. You. I used to be like that. Yeah. Well.
But you're here on the podium, mate, and that's where the points are.
That's it.
You don't get points for qualifying. But no, great job, all of you. Well done. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Everyone who's commented on that, thank you very much. Join us Sunday. We'll be racing here again at Japan, RTA 3. It'll be on our Twitch at 8 o'clock.
By yours
English
truly,
time.
by me, the champ.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you on comms on Sunday. To be fair,
I think JJ will interview you, Clay. Sunday.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think that's it. Yeah, return interview.
Oh no.
Right, boys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Take care, man.
See you later. Well done.
Cheers, lads.
Oh, Bahrain, man. That's a difficult track next week.
I fucking hate Bahrain. I'm not quick there at all.
No, I need some practice. Definitely.
Mate, I've been doing that. I've been doing the F2s a lot round there.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant to drive around there. And I don't know what it is. As soon as you drive them, the F1 cars become easier to drive.
Oh, yeah.
They're a lot harder to drive them fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
Mate,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm still fuming from last Sunday, me, about the F1. I've not touched an F1 car
I can
since.
understand, man. I can understand.
I watch that late at night and I see what could happen.
Mate.
And I see, I was going, no, Dave.
Yeah, I sat there, right. So, I threw a bit of a paddy last week. Not the weekend just gone, the one before. I threw a paddy in admin chat and basically said, I'm not enjoying racing anymore. I don't want to fucking do it. I've had enough. I've just fallen out of love with it. I'm not enjoying it. And Dan said to me, look, just put traction on. He said, you're not practicing. You're trying to run no traction. Forget it. Just put traction on and see how it goes. So I went up to medium traction. I did quali and I fucked up. I fucked myself up in quali. I think I qualified 16th. Race comes. I got wing damage before turn 1 from a car that were fucking bouncing about or whatever. It was a bit of lag, desync, whatever.
Yeah, I see that one. Yeah.
I got wing damage from it, and I'm fucking fuming at that. And then safety car comes out like third lap. Pits, changes wing, pops hard tyres on. Dan went, anyone who's pitting now is stupid. You're not going to make it to the end. And I went, what the fuck do you expect me to do? I've got wing damage, mate. He went, no, that's different. You carry on. So another safety car comes out, few at medium runners pit. Another safety car comes out, more at medium runners pit. I think I'm up to 5th. And I said to Dan, this medium traction is fucking awful. I said, it's worse than no traction. Like, I'm losing it where I shouldn't be, and I'm fighting the car constantly. And he said to me, it's either full traction or none.
Yeah.
Avoid medium. So I paused in that safety car, went to full traction, and I sat in 3rd place for the whole race. And at last lap, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go for 2nd. I'm going to go for it. And I got the run on Dave. I saved my battery, everything. I got the run on him. I thought I had it done. I braked a bit early into the left-hander so that I didn't force him off track. He later got a track limit warning and then was unwilling to let me have that position. He broke as late as he possibly could and put us both in the wall.
Yeah, it was horrible. I did see it late on that night because my brother texted me saying he won, and then I was just like, oh, I'm gonna watch the last few laps. When I see how many laps you boys are on, I was like, Jesus Christ, like 26 laps or 25 laps on a set of hard tyres.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I can only put it down to changing to full traction.
The thing is, with no traction, you need at least 5 hours a week.
That's it. I'm not getting it. I tend to turn it on, do 2 laps of TT or 1 lap of TT, then set the lobby up. That is it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moved to full TC and fucking hell. Like, Dave messaged me, to be fair to him, he messaged me straight away saying, I'm so fucking sorry, I'm reporting myself, it's my fault.
That's really nice from him.
Yeah, but I replied to him saying, look, I know it's not intentional, but don't fucking talk to me. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in that mood. Not in that mood.
I can understand, man.
Then I had Ninja fucking spun me out at the beginning as well. And he messaged me saying, oh, sorry for that, and I fucking ignored him. And then I had Osso message me. Osso were doing comms. He messaged me saying, you look so good, man, don't let it get you down. And I was like, don't talk to me. I'm not in the mood.
We all have been there, man. We all have been
mate.
there.
I spun 12 times last week.
Oh, man, I was so mad at Flix last week. So mad, man.
Right, I woke up Saturday. I reported I think I reported everything Friday night. I woke up Saturday, was in a better mood, so I said everyone who messaged me, I sent them a message saying like, apologies for last night, blah blah blah. Dave sent me a few voice messages saying how sorry he was and how much he fucked up, but it's one of them.
Just
part of me blames myself.
Take confidence from it because it's one of the most difficult tracks to go around and not hit a wall.
Yeah. Part of me blames myself though as well, which is the worst thing.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
I had no points on the championship. I had no points before last weekend, and I was sat in 3rd position.
Yeah.
And on the last lap of the race, I decided to go for 2nd instead of just settling for 3rd.
You've got to go for it though, because Carl was putting away 1.2 a lap, so you have to go for it.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a point where I was thinking I could get Carl here because we were close. We was all close on one of the restarts, and I knew I was faster than Dave, but I was unsure about Carl. I didn't want to force a move on Dave.
That's difficult, man. Really difficult.
But now that I'm on full traction, I'm hoping I'm a hell of a lot quicker now.
Nice, man. Good to hear, man. Hope you get some points in the upcoming races, man.
Hopefully he gets more than 10 than what he got with us, Bobo, eh?
It was difficult today, man.
It was difficult,
really difficult, man. As you say, like sector 1, if you hit the curb just slightly, you're gone. So you need to be so careful.
Yeah.
And I had like 1 track limit with you, like in the first lap. Like,
I did that as well. First corner.
Yeah, first corner. So, and then the second one was after the restart. When you restarted, I cut it like the chicane.
Yeah.
And then I needed to be careful. But it was good fun, man. Good fun. It was a good battle in the sprint, man.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was good really because it was similar to the feature for me. Like certain points of the lap, you boys were going away, and then the last sector, I just seemed to fly.
Yeah, I was on higher wing, so you were definitely quicker than me on the straight. I don't know. Is it like better with the higher wings in the rain? Like probably it is, but. Is it much better, or
it depends.
Is it more suspension wise?
I think it's more suspension and engine braking.
Yeah, exactly.
The higher
yeah.
you have the engine braking in the wet, the more unstable your car becomes on the rear, unless you put some toe on the rear, which is what I've done. I put things like
Yeah.
0.04 or something, just to keep it a little bit more stable under braking.
I thought like Pink was going to run away with both races.
I did as well. But
after the sprint, I really did think he was.
Yeah, man.
But then after 4 laps of me realising he weren't really going anywhere, I thought I've got a chance here. All I needed
indeed, man, indeed. And then you overtook him.
Yeah, wow. And I could see him though, and he was taking weird lines through corners. I was like, is he struggling?
It was like there was something with his wheel or something. He was in front of me when you overtook him, and he was suddenly like going left on the grass, like in just like a really odd place, man. Really odd place.
Must have been his setup, man. He couldn't have had
it could be. That's so strange, sliding in every corner, and I was like, okay, that's strange.
Well, go and win a championship now, Bubba. Don't let me down, son.
I'm going for it, man, but it will be tough, man. Because Pink is always quicker than me in quali. I think it's also like the wings. He's doing higher wings, and he's really quick, man. He's always like 2 or 3 tenths quicker.
If you want to tow, it's a tenner a time.
And then I need to ask like Clay to don't mention me.
Right, boys, I'm going.
Man. Happy for you, man. Really happy for you.
Cheers, bro. It's been coming.
Yeah, man. You deserve it.
Thank you very much. Clay, thank you for a good job, mate. Bobo, love you, man.
I will watch it back.
Yeah, me too. See you later.
Nice one, lads. Cheers.
Bye.
Good job.
Good luck Sunday, Clay.
Cheers, bud.
I'm cheering you for with the stream. I'm going to scream if you get points, man. Or like a crazy podium or something.
I'll go mad.
I'm going crazy, man.
And I will seriously wake my kids up about it.
The thing is Japan is a track I've always hated, but I've always hated it because I raced it on controller. Whereas on the wheel I enjoy